Cheyenne, the candy that best describes you is hot tamale, because there are times when you run super hot and you're spicy, but deep down you're really sweet.
And Payday because Cheyenne and I work together.
Whatchamacallit, because that describes Cheyenne to a T.
Mounds would be the candy bar because you got mounds of booty.
For Cheyenne, I selected a whatchamacallit.
Snickers, and I relate it to you're not yourself until you have a Snickers, and Cheyenne's kind of like that. I call her when I want to quit my jobs.
Almond Joy, chocolate, almonds, and coconut. Tougher than a walnut, she's sweet like coconut, and everyone who loves chocolate.
Lifesaver.
Someone who has saved my life many a times.
She's a smarty.
I picked Smarties because she's very bright and she's very smart.
Lemon heads, because we are a lemon head. They are a little sour sometimes, only sometimes, and then sweet and very nice to eat, I guess. I don't know.
Because you're a bit nutty like me, and because you bring so much joy to us all.
So I picked Good and Plenty for Cheyenne because I don't know, every time we're together we have a great time, and there's always plenty of good times with her.
Almond Joy for Cheyenne. There was a lot of options for candy bars that would explain her personality a lot, but I chose this one because she brings absolute nothing but joy to me. But that's an easy one, but more importantly, the joy she brings to the people in her life.
It's an Almond Joy because she's sweet and delicious, but a little bit nutty.
I chose Starburst because ever since I've known her, she's had such high energy, and she's always loved color, and she always talked about wanting a lime green car when she was younger.
Snickers. I chose the Snickers because back in the day, we all know Cheyenne used to love chocolate mint. She may not now, but she used to.
I picked it because it's solid. That was the solid one, and that's what I think about Cheyenne.
This is the best way to describe Cheyenne because she's just a very giving person with a generous heart.
Well, I know she likes spicy food. The spicier, the better for her.
But when she hit teenagehood, it got a little rocky. But now she's delicious.
Hot tamales.
Almond Joy.
So the Good and Plenty, I think, is best represents Cheyenne.
Rainbow Nerds because she's super bright and colorful and fun and crazy, and she's a little nerdy.
Three Musketeers because it's always Ian and Christine and Cheyenne.
Rocky Road. I chose this candy bar because I know Cheyenne growing up had a rocky road. I can never forget the episode of Sally Jesse Raphael when she was recovering from boot camp, and she was talking to the younger women and really just trying to point them in the right direction and help them. So Rocky Road, marshmallow milk chocolate candy.
The candy bar that best represents Cheyenne, and you're going to chuckle at this, but you have to understand that it was the first combination candy bar in the United States that made nationwide acclaim. It was crispy peanut butter, spun taffy with a caramel center, and covered in milk chocolate. Now, when you think about that, can you think of anything that is not Cheyenne? And oh, by the way, the name of the candy bar is
There's a real hunk of candy. A luscious core of crunchy golden goodness, just honeycomb with rich tasting peanut butter and a rich chocolatey covering. So for a candy bar that's hopping good, you know what to say.
Well, I was there when she was born. I helped deliver her in 1979, 40 years ago. I'm her daddy. I thought I was going to pass out in the delivery room, but the minute I held her in my arms, oh God, I didn't think this would be so hard. The minute I held her in her arms, I fell in love. And I'm still in love with her today.
How am I going to take care of this precious bundle? I was scared. Yeah, I was scared. I didn't know anything about Baby.
Yeah.
She was amazing.
Mostly every summer we got to meet this girl that came down from Texas, and she told us a lot of fun stories. She was the first one in our group that ever had a pager. She was way younger than us, so I was pretty happy with that. But one summer she came back, and she was no longer a little girl anymore. And that's when everything changed for both of us.
My first impression is, here's this big city gal from Texas coming to show us country boys what's up. She was from the mean streets of Dallas, and she wasn't afraid to share her stories with us.
First memories of Cheyenne date back to around 1994. When I remember seeing Cheyenne, she was the first person in Coronado Estates or East Oak to actually have the TLC haircut. And she actually had the Janet Jackson choker from from the old videos that Janet Jackson would have. And she also had the tie-dye. She also had the "Let me speak to the manager" bangs coming down to her chin.
At Village Inn, it was Kaya and I's first date, and she started interrogating me, I guess, checking to make sure I was good enough for him. And yeah, it was pretty funny. I thought, who is this chick asking me questions?
And I knew I liked her right away. She was warm, she was friendly, and I found her to be very honest, ambitious, and another thing about her is I never heard her say a bad word about anybody.
At her dad's house. And it's funny, I'll never forget, it was my first date. I went to the movies with Cheyenne and I had nothing to wear, and it was really embarrassing. So I had to scramble to get $10 a ride and some sweatpants to get to the movies. That was the first time I remember thinking that I really liked a girl, is that summer when Cheyenne was there. Also, I will take credit for the moment that her and Ian fell in love, because the next summer I brought her over to Ian's house, and I remember I went inside as she was waiting outside, and I was telling Ian, you gotta come out and hang out with Cheyenne.
Adorable, outgoing, spunky, great hair. Thought I might want to be her when I grew up.
Her quirkiness, silliness, her love of people and how much she cares so deeply about what other people think.
Well, I have to think back 23 years when Ian told us about this girl he was dating, and that he really was crazy about her.
So she came to our house and she had piercings and she wore really cool big baggy clothes. She looked a little chola.
That's right.
And then I wanted to be one too. So I bought big earrings and big clothes, and I became a little chola for a while. And Cheyenne was my inspiration for that.
She's a little young for my brother. But I love her.
I'm pretty sure the first time we met was at a place called Chinaland, which was like this little Chinese karaoke bar.
I knew the moment we sat down and talked to each other that we had an instant connection.
Found out that my husband was going to be stationed in Iraq. Came as kind of a surprise, and Cheyenne actually made this for me. She actually got everybody's involvement at work. She utilized this picture of us that I had hanging over my desk. She made a copy for herself, and then she had everybody sign each one of these little cards for me. Probably the sweetest tributes, probably one of the sweetest gestures I've ever had from my friends.
And it's when we worked together at TVC, and I was on a health kick, losing weight, and she came one day and said, I want to do it. So I laid it out for her. 2 days later, I'm walking by our lunchroom, and she's downing a big bagel with more cream cheese on it than you can shake a stick at. Looks at me, freezes. I grab it right out of her hand, threw it in the trash, sprinted down this long hallway that was tile. I'd never seen a woman run in high heels that fast after me, and I literally ran out in the street. She was screaming the whole
My husband has been ill for a year and a half, as everybody knows, and Cheyenne from the beginning would call constantly, send cards, see if she could do anything for us. She was always so kind and considerate about what we were going through. She came to visit on her own, but she also brought Ian and the 2 girls, which I always loved to see. And we always thought that was so considerate and kind. Now that's a true friend.
One year, it was the last year that Bob Barker was doing The Price of Right. Went to LA, we ate at a little burger place, and as we were sitting right next door to the burger place, like cars just started pulling up. We walked over to see what was going on, and it was a callback for a Payless commercial. And it was just all these California models, like 20-year-old models, trying to make it big. Cheyenne and I decided to go in there, and Cheyenne just walked in to the callback, pretended like she was supposed to be there, and I walked in with her, claiming that I was her handler, and everybody had their headshots and everything like that. Cheyenne didn't have anything except her personality, and so she went in there. They took some impromptu headshots of her. I was in there acting arrogant, like I was managing her or something. And she went through the whole process. Meanwhile, Ian and her dad were like in the hallway, like mortified by what we were doing in there.
One time we were in the car with Shy. She was picking us up from school, and she heard like her favorite song came on. It was Gorilla by Bruno Mars, and she was like, "This is the most earliest song I like." And I was like, "What the heck, Shy?" And we were walking. We were gonna go see a train, but we were walking past a whole thing of Mustangs, and she hyped them up to just run their engines, and I watched her jump up and down so they could do it, and they all did it. And it was
I remember them bringing her tape of Sally Jesse Raphael to my parents' house. Very early on, my parents were already pretty freaked out about Ian and her dating, and then they thought, let's bring this Sally Jesse Raphael tape, and that will make them like her more. And it was a bit of a traumatic tape, a little crazy, and I'm not really sure which way it swayed my parents, but I remember thinking, like, now she's really cool. She's on TV.
Tell me what boot camp is like.
Gail was selling hair ties in flea markets. Cheyenne flew from Tucson to Dallas to help her. I thought that was about as giving as you can be, to take away a weekend from your family to come and help your mom.
In high school, she had these, I always call them her white shusha boots, because they were like white patent leather. She wore these things all the time, and they were, again, kind of out there for us there at Tombstone High School. So
the funniest moments I've ever had with Cheyenne is going to the movie theater and doing a what is it called, like a Twilight New Moon eclipse marathon movie showing, and we watched the first one, and then the second one we had an intermission, so everybody's kind of leaving up and getting out of their chairs, and it was time for the movie to start up again, and we sat down in our chairs, and it was Denise and I and a couple other people, Cheyenne, and then the people in front of us was coming back to their chairs, but there was already a couple people sitting there, and long story short, they bickered a lot between the two of them, like, this is my chair now, and then people started coming in and was hollering, like, get out of her chair. Anyhow, the people who worked there came over to have them removed from the theater, and Cheyenne blurted out, "Take the trash out!" I died. And the entire row around us was just laughing hysterically.
Ongoing and will last forever is her inaccurately quoting Bible scripture on the Sally Jesse Raphael daytime talk show.
You learn to live, and all this stuff about shooting them, you know, in the Bible it says that if you shoot a person, you are not killing them. If you sit there and talk to a person and make them feel lower, that's really killing a person. If you shoot a person, you are not killing them, you're killing yourself.
We always laugh about a certain time we went to Vegas, and they had little Tabasco, like mini Tabasco we were eating at a seafood place. And I thought it was the most amazing thing in the world. And she took a picture of me with it, and I had a broken nail. So it's just little Tabasco, any little miniature condiments just always remind me.
I had pain in my shoulder, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go home. She's like, no, I think you're having a heart attack. So, took me to the hospital. Cheyenne was the one who basically saved my life. In a short story.
I love that she's caring for everybody and that she doesn't give up on stuff.
Our night out dancing when she was 9.5 months pregnant, and she wore the turban to a college bar and took over the dance floor. We thought it was funny, the college girls didn't. But that's probably one of my fondest fun memories of Cheyenne. There's been a lot.
Cheyenne was about 2 years old, and her grandparents on her mother's side had come out from Ohio to visit. And they sat down in the living room, and I was there on the floor, Cheyenne was there. And there was a used lottery ticket on the coffee table, and Cheyenne walked right up to it, grabbed that lottery ticket, just scratched like hell, then threw it up in the air, looked at her grandmother and said, "Son of a bitch, didn't win again."
I think a good one is when she used to fall asleep on crew nights, or actually every night in the A224 or A212, and I would inevitably tease her, wake her up real quick, and she'd wake up so confused she wouldn't even know where she was or what her name was. And sleeping with her finger up her nose, and then he said, "Baby, we gotta go," and she'd just jump up, scared, and then finally realized after about 45 seconds that it was just I and mess with her again, and then she'd get mad for a few seconds. So that was good times. It happened a lot.
Me and a friend drove the 19-hour trip back to Dallas to see her. That second night we were there, me and Cheyenne went to the pool, and we spent probably about 6 hours by ourselves talking about both of our childhoods. And she shared with me stories that were incredible. She was at the time 16 years old, but the things that she had gone through were well beyond any of the experiences that I had even dreamt of, and the strength that carried her through that. I tell her all the time that was when I actually fell in love with her. It was that night at the pool where I learned how she became who she was, and I fell in love with her that night. It's by far my most cherished memory with her.
When she taught me how to drive, my dad was too afraid to teach me, so she did. She was very patient and helpful, and again, we got mad at each other sometimes, but at the end of it, she was always so nice. Even like when I almost hit my cousin one time, she was very nice afterwards. She's like, "All right, I'm mad at you because you almost hit your cousin, but we're gonna learn from that." And then I got my license, and we were crying because she taught me for so long. It was awesome.
Like when I was in theater, I got really scared the night of my play, and my mom pulled me aside and really just had a heart-to-heart talk with me, and it made me feel so much better.
She was living in Arizona when her Uncle Paul died, and she came back to Dallas for the funeral. And she got up at the funeral and she spoke, and she said a few other things, but what I remember was she looked straight at me and she said, "I learned what a loving family was in your house." And it made me feel wonderful because it was like we'd done a few things right to help her grow up. It was a struggle sometimes, but maybe we'd helped a little bit along the way.
First kiss was not with Cheyenne. It could have been, but I was too scared. Everyone was making fun of me. I think I was 12 years old at the time. She thought it'd be a good idea to kiss, and I was too nervous. Ultimately leading to Ian getting married and having children with her.
The story of Cheyenne was when me, Shiloh, and Mike Parker all spent the night. And we were all afraid to actually kiss her. And no one ever did because we were all so scared. And when you're living from a small neighborhood and you got some, meat and potatoes coming from Dallas, Texas, she was well above our standards and we couldn't handle how social she was. And we never got to kiss Cheyenne, which actually was a great thing. However, that was definitely my most memorable moment, was Mike Parker actually thinking that he had a chance to kiss her.
Good afternoon. Hello. You wish to consult me? Your sign says you know what my future is. That's right, and I certainly wish to consult you. Come inside, won't you?
I always thought Cheyenne's, calling in life was to be a karaoke queen.
I see her becoming a grandma to actual humans, not just our cats.
And she thought about starting a specific company for kid casting, for extras, young kids, and work with them in the film industry. And I could see her doing it. I think she would be wonderful.
Her and I have her own design company.
Designing men's clothes.
I would say she could be a counselor.
A go-go dancer. Interacting more with people on an emotional level.
I would just see her working with kids and kids like special need kids. I could see her doing that.
I could see her being like a safari guide.
Probably managing or being a CEO or something.
I think she would be an accountant.
Something with clothes and in fashion.
I could definitely see her as this is a weird thing. I could see her conducting an orchestra. She was just how conductors go crazy and get wild and flailing, and I can just see her pointing to the brass section and then pointing to the woodwinds, and then at the end just turning around and bowing and smiling and everyone cheering. She's just vibrant. That probably should have been my word, vibrant.
I wouldn't call it a weird job. I would just call it a job that would be, I know she'd be amazing at as a nurse, because she takes care of everybody around her, even people she doesn't know that well. Obviously me and my daughters, but as you're probably going to get the theme in this video is that she's the kindest, nicest human I've ever met. So any job that she would be amazing at that she isn't already amazing at is a nurse, because she takes care of everybody around her.
A no-kid household. She's gonna like that. A lot of vacations, promotions at work. She's doing so awesome right now. She's gonna be the boss someday soon.
I would think she'd make a great Army officer. Be a great place where she could have excelled and shown her.
Beyonce. Because she always wanted to sing and be a performer.
Maybe like an event coordinator for like a club.
I could see Cheyenne being a counselor of some sorts. Speaking to the downtrodden, those that may be lacking direction, and just having that human connection and reminding others of what humanity is all about.
Bartender, she may not know what she's doing with the drinks, but it wouldn't matter because she would just be entertaining the customers, getting into their business and giving advice, and I can see her doing that.
Working on a tran that takes people up Sabino Canyon and shows them everything. And she'll be on the microphone talking the entire time, and you won't miss a thing if you're going up that hill. So that could be a retired job for her, and she would have as much energy as the 20-year-old that hopped on that van, even if she was 80.
She is going to be an amazing wife to her husband and mother to her daughters.
Cheyenne would probably be a gluten-free chef, and she would sell her cauliflower pizza crusts online.
Genuine.
Social. One word to describe Cheyenne: passionate.
My word is gravitational. There are many words that I can use for you, Cheyenne, but anywhere and everywhere we ever go, everybody just gravitates to you because of your personality, because of how kind and sweet and funny and charming you are. And you can go anywhere and people are just drawn to you.
Kind.
Smart. Powerful.
I picked dear friend.
Simply beautiful.
Amazing.
I chose spontaneous.
Kind.
Awesome.
She's delightful. She's a treat. Lovable.
Okay, I picked cheerful because she's just always cheerful. She's always fun and she's just full of life. And, that's my word for Cheyenne. Cheerful Cheyenne.
Caring.
I think inclusive is definitely the word that best describes how I know Cheyenne.
Joyous.
Kooky. One word to describe Cheyenne.
I'd say the word that best represents Cheyenne is surprising.
Outgoing.
Unfailing.
Caring.
And she's a remarkable person.
Sunshine.
I chose perfect. And even though that may seem easy, she's literally the nicest, kindest person I've ever met. So this word is very, very fitting.
Happy birthday, Cheyenne, and many more.
Happy birthday, Cheyenne. I love you. Happy birthday, Shy. You're 40. Not going to be 21 yet, but 40. Congratulations. Love you. Mwah.
Happy birthday. I've been given the daunting task of going over your career highlights, some of the great things you've done. No, that wasn't you, that was some
Happy birthday, Cheyenne. I hope it's memorable. I know it's gonna be, and I love you very, very much.
Shy, you are one of my best friends, and I just want to wish you a happy 40th birthday. And I know this is going to be a great one, and we're going to be there with you, and we'll be there for many more. And I love you.
Cheyenne, I want to thank you for everything that you've done for us, for our family. I just want to say happy birthday. I love you.
Happy birthday, Cheyenne. Love you.
You, I was kind of
Happy 40th, Mom. I love you. I can't wait to see what's next.
Happy birthday, Cheyenne. Many, many, many more to come.
Listen, I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. I admire you so much. You're talented, you're funny, you're kind.
Happy birthday, Mom. I love you so much.
I know that I'm just so happy that you guys have just had such a beautiful relationship and such an amazing family, and I can't believe you're turning 40. It's crazy. Happy birthday.
Happy 40th birthday, besties!
Cheyenne, happy 40th birthday. I love you so much. You've come so far, and I can't wait to see where the next 40 years take you. I love you. Happy birthday.
It's your birthday! You've continued to be alive for consecutive years. Well done! Well done for resisting the urge to not be alive. Carry on being alive every year, continually. Happy birthday!
Well, happy birthday, honey. 40 years old. What the hell does that make me?
I love you, Cheyenne. I wish you the best on everything you do. And just remember, nobody rocks a sweater set as good as you.
Happy birthday, sweet girl. Love ya.
Cheyenne, happy birthday.
I'm hoping I'm sitting there watching this with you when it happens. But I gotta say, it's a happy, happy, happy birthday to you and the big 4-0 and many more.
Oh, happy 40th birthday, Shy. I love you.
Happy birthday, Cheyenne. I love you, and I don't want to hear you're old. You are young and just starting life.
I wish you the best year. I wish you nothing but happiness. You are everything to me. You are everything to your friends and your family. And I hope that you get to see in this video how people really feel about you. I love you. Happy birthday.
Everybody gather around. Gather around the cake, please.
I never thought you would reach 40 before me, and now that you do, I wish you, the best of being a mother and a wife to, one of my greatest friends.
I just love you the way you've always been so kind to me as a mother-in-law. Oh no, I'm really crying. I just love her. She's just a good person. She's got a good heart.
Cheyenne, you have always been there for me, and I love you so much.
She's just, like I said, she's one of my best friends and love her to death. I can always count on her. Doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes she puts herself through so much for other people just to be there for them. And she's a person that I know that I could always count on. And I just want to express to her how much it means to me that she's always there, that I can always count on her and know that hopefully she feels the same way and that I love her to death and we'll see many more years.
Obviously, you changed my life for the better. And I'm so glad that we're here in Tucson and I get to see you more often.
She means the world to me. Cheyenne has a work ethic. I told her one day, I figured it out, and it was why we are the way we are, and it's because we're hustlers. And it's not a derogatory word. It's in the sense of we're not going to stop until we do what we have to do, and it's being done right.
Cheyenne is one of the best people I've ever met, and I'm just so grateful to have met her. She's definitely changed my life in so many positive ways.
I just love her so much. She has taken such good care of my brother, who not necessarily needs a lot of taking care of, but she's given him more love than he could ever do it.
She literally makes my day. She's always cheerful and happy, always positive, always looks at the bright side. Whenever there's a problem, she's like, don't worry, we got this. We got it. So,
Cheyenne means everything to me. She's always there when I'm down, and she always asks if I'm okay all the time. Even if I'm lying, she'll look me dead in the eye.
She's been a true friend to me for over 20 years, and she's like one of the truest people I've ever met. She's not fake. Everything about her is so just natural, and she doesn't, everything that she does is her. And it's like, there's not a lot of people in the world like that. She's so true, and she's one of the coolest people I've ever known.
She actually taught me a lot. I consider her one of my mentors. She actually trained me in the position and what I'm doing it. She always pushed me to take extra steps. I'm grateful for her. She actually, my success, I actually give her a lot of credit for it. I don't think she knows that.
Sacrifice stuff for yourself to give to the rest of the crew and family, even though there's things you need and you want and you should have, but you're too worried about other people, and that's one of the best things about you is you're caring and loving for the rest of us.
You are so awesome, and I am so thankful that you are my mom. You're such a hard worker. Just today we left you and you were working on some project for 6 hours, and that taught me to be a good worker.
I think Uncle Paul would be very proud of who she is right now, who she's become. What a great mom she is, and how sweet and loving and smart her daughters are. And she and I have a great relationship, and I know he would be very proud of all that to see what she's done with her life and how happy she is. She's relaxed, she's a happy person, she's very kind and generous, and I know he'd be proud of all that he could say he was part of her life.
Cheyenne, you mean everything to me and to all of us. You are such a bright light, and we see every day how much you make Ian happy and how great of a mom you are, and I think we're all fortunate to be a part of your life.
I love you, and it's like that old song, my favorite song. If you have the chance to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time the rest of your life. I love you, baby girl. Happy birthday.
Cheyenne, she makes it worthwhile to come to work. She always has a smile on her face. She makes work fun.
Cheyenne and I have been through a lot of good times and a lot of bad times. I think we were brought into each other's lives to learn about life, loss, love, peace, finding happiness. She's a golden soul.
Cheyenne, you mean so much to me, more than words can ever say. You're a connection to my past, you're a connection to my present, you're a connection to my future, and the way that you've embraced my family and taken them in and treated them like nieces. I just love you so much, and you always have a spot in my heart.
You were my best friend, and like I said, you were my sister, and you just mean the world to me. I cannot imagine my life without you.
Cheyenne, I just want to let you know, you've been really tough on yourself. You've always thought you weren't enough. I'm just here to tell you, and so are your friends and your family, that you're enough. And you're wonderful. And we're so blessed that you're in our lives. We are so thankful that we get to have you. And just thank you for allowing us to share this with you. Happy birthday.